Hi, this is Julie Harland, and I'm your math gal. Please visit my website at yourmathgal.com where you could search for any of my videos organized by topic. On this video, we subtract mixed numbers that have a common denominator, but negative numbers are also involved. So you must already know how to add and subtract positive and negative numbers, and also how to deal with adding and subtracting mixed numbers. In this example, we're adding two mixed numbers, and they both happen to be negative numbers. So we have to use our rules for adding two negative numbers to begin with. So how do we add two negative numbers? We're going to add the two numbers without the negative sign, and we know the answer is going to be negative. So we know our answer is going to be negative, and then what do? We add the 2 and 3/8 and the 5 and 3/8. Now I could add up and down or across, however you like. So what do? We add the whole number part, 7, and then 3/8 plus 3/8, common denominator, so we're going to have 8s. So we have 3 and 3 is 6, and then we just need to reduce the 6/8. So we'll have 7 and 3/4. So our answer here, negative 2 and 3/8 plus negative 5 and 3/8 will be negative 7 and 3/4. So here's one for you to try. So go ahead and put the video on pause and try this problem on your own first. All right, again, we're adding two negative numbers, so we know the answer will be negative. And then we add these two, ignoring the negative sign. So I'm really just going to add the 4 and 5/12 plus 3 and 1/12, which is 7 and 6/12. And then 6/12 reduce to 7 1/2. So what I'm doing here is sort of my side work. I'm adding these two mixed numbers, right? The positive ones. So this one, I hope you got negative 7 1/2. All right, let's try the next one. All right, so try this one on your own first. Put the video on pause and try it. Again, we're adding two negative numbers. So our answer is going to be negative. And then we just have to add the 7 and 4/5 to the 2 and 2/5 because those are the same sign. So I'm going to show that here, side work. That gives you 9 and 6/5. Now remember what this means, 9 and 6/5. It really means 9 plus 6/5. And this is an improper fraction. So it's reduced, but I want to write that as a mixed number. So you divide 6 divided by 5, 1 and 1/5. So that would give me 10 and 1/5. That means my answer up here is negative 10 and 1/5. Now remember, the other way you can add mixed numbers is to change them to improper fractions. So let's do this same problem, changing negative 7 and 4/5 plus negative 2 and 2/5 to improper fractions. So they're both fifths, right? And they're both negative. So I'm just going to write the negative up here in the numerators for each. And what would this be? The numerator for the first one. 5 times 7 is 35, plus 4 is 39. So that's negative 39. And for this one, remember you're doing 5 times 2 plus 2. You're not doing 5 times negative 2. Remember the minus sign is already taken care of. We just want to rewrite 2 and 2/5 as an improper fraction. So 5 times 2 is 10 plus 2, so that'll be a negative 12. And now I have a common denominator, so we add the numerators. And I'm adding two negatives. So negative 39 plus negative 12 is negative 51. And now I can rewrite that as, well, it's a negative, right? By the way, this is a correct answer. But you could also write it as a mixed number and you would get negative 10 and 1/5 because when you divide 51 by 5, you get 10 remainder 1. So you see you get the same answer, changing it to improper fraction first. All right, here's our next problem. negative 3 4/9 plus 1 1/9. So I'm adding a negative and a positive number. So is my answer in this case going to be negative or positive? Well, negative 3 4/9, that's bigger. So I'm going to have a negative sign, right? Got more negatives. And then what do? You subtract the two numbers, right? If you're adding with different signs, you take the sign of the largest absolute value here, and then you subtract. So I'm going to do the subtraction here on the side. And, oops, I wrote 4/9 twice. That would be 1/9. So that gives me 2 3/9. And 3/9 can be reduced to 1/3 by dividing the numerator and denominator by 3. So that's 2 1/3. So when you subtract, your answer over here is 2 1/3. So my answer is negative 2 1/3. So that's how to do it, keeping everything as mixed numbers. Now again, this same problem can be done by rewriting each of these as improper fractions first. So let's also show that we'll get the same answer doing it that way. So if I want to change negative 3 4 4/9 and 1 1/9, both of those to improper fractions, this is just minus, right? And now I'm going to change the 3 4/9 to the improper fraction. 3 times 9 is 27 plus 4. So the new numerator will be 31. And I still have ninths. Okay? Now the minus sign could go up there in the numerator or out in front. Plus, I have to change the 1 1/9. So that's a ninth. And I have 9 times 1 is 10 plus 1. That'll be 10 ninths. All right, so now I'm adding a negative and a positive. All right, so after I change it to improper fractions, I notice now I'm adding a negative and a positive. I already have a common denominator, so I get to write down the denominator, and you add the numerators. So what I'm really doing is adding the negative 31 plus 10. And now when I'm adding a negative and a positive, the negatives outweigh the positives, and you take the difference. 31 minus 10 is 21. This is not reduced, so let's reduce it. So I could divide the top and bottom by 3, so that'll be negative 7/3. And so that's my answer written as an improper fraction, and these two are equivalent, right? If I changed 7/3 to a mixed number, I would have 2 1/3. If I changed 2 1/3 to an improper fraction, I'd have 7/3. So I could do this problem either way, and I could write my answer either way, negative 2 1/3 or negative 7/3, unless, of course, instructions said write your answer as a mixed number or write your answer as an improper fraction. But these are both reduced, and that's the important part. All right, this is the next problem, and try this on your own. All right. So again, two ways we can do this. We could work with the mixed numbers, thinking we're just adding a positive and a negative number, or we could change them to improper fractions first. Let's go ahead and first do it with the mixed numbers. I'm adding a positive and a negative number, and I notice the negatives outweigh the positives, so the answer is going to be negative, because 9 1/11 is bigger than 4 3/11. Now, when you're adding with different signs, you have to take their difference. So I have to do the big number minus the smaller number. So I'm going to do that right here. 9 1/11 minus 4 3/11. Now, there's two ways to do this. I notice I can't do 1 minus 3, right? So I can borrow and rewrite 9 1/11. If I borrow, remember, 9 is the same thing as 8 plus 1, so I could think of this as 8 plus 1 11th. 1 and 1/11th, right? Which is the same thing as 8, and if I write that as 11 times 1 plus 1, 12 11ths. So that number could be written as 8 and 12 11ths, and now I could subtract my 4 and 3 11ths. So 8 minus 4 is 4. 12 minus 3 is 9. So my answer to the original problem up here, right, I'm adding the positive and negative number, is negative 4 and 9/11. Now the other way to deal with this is to rewrite the original problem all in improper fractions. So let's do the problem again, working with the improper fractions. So I have 4 and 3/11 plus negative 9 and 1/11. And I want to rewrite each of those as improper fractions. So they're both going to be 11ths. So the first one, 11 times 4 is 44 plus 3. That gives me a 47. And this is going to be a negative, right? And then I have to change 9 and 11ths to the improper fraction. 11 times 9 is 99 plus 1, so that's negative 100. Now I've got a common denominator. So I'm going to just do 47 plus negative 100. Well, now we're adding a positive and negative number, and there's more negatives. So I have to subtract 100 minus 47, and that will be 53. So I get negative 53/11, and that is reduced. But that is the same answer as I got up there. They're equivalent. One is written as a mixed number. One is written as an improper fraction. A lot of people like to do it by changing it to the improper fractions, just do it that way. And if they want to write their answer as a mixed number, they do that at the last step. So again, you've got two ways of doing this. So we're using the rules for adding with a common denominator, our rules for adding and subtracting with mixed numbers or improper fractions, and also our rules for positive and negative numbers. So there's a lot of info in here. Please visit my website at yourmathgal.com, where you can view all of my videos, which are organized by topic.